The Tower of Babel, from the enigmas of its discovery. The target of the ancient travelers to Babylon was the tumulus of Babel. Artists rushed to draw it, following vague ancient indications. The tower appears as early as the Roman era, in the murals of Saint Savon, in the mosaics of the Cathedral of Monreale, in Sicily, in sculpture, in the Doge's Palace in Venice. Bruegel the Elder, Raphael, in the decorative ensemble of the Vatican Loggia, which includes scenes from the Old Testament, and other painters approached the subject, so that an anthology of representations of the tower could be compiled in different centuries. It was believed that the Tower of Babel was located at Bersippa, currently Burs Nimrud, or at Akorkuf, 30 kilometers from Baghdad, where impressive vestiges of ziggurats remain. The hesitations about the location of the famous tower are natural, because the ziggurat of Babylon had been destroyed and, despite its solidity, nothing remained. German archaeologists began excavations here 14 years after the opening of the construction site. Despite all the rigorous research, it would have been difficult to reach the famous monument if there had not been some clues. First, the comparison that could be made with the ziggurats of other cities, fairly well preserved, those of Uar and of Tokoga's Anbil in Susiana. Then, a brief description of the Greek historian Herodotus, a great traveler and faithful narrator, who visited Babylon towards the middle of the 5th century BC. He saw only the ruins of the tower, because it had been destroyed by Xerxes after the conquest. Finally, there is a very valuable document, namely a clay tablet, which is in the Louvre Oriental Antiquities Department, 20 centimeters high and 10 centimeters wide, discovered in a private collection by Father Vincent Skeel. The tablet describes Isag/All and Timininki. In all probability, the base of the tower was square, each side measuring a little over 91 m. It has been found that all the documents indicate this figure. Herodotus estimated it at 1 stadia, that is approximately 92 m, and the Louvre tablet at 180 cubits, that is a little over 89 m. The German archaeologist who measured it gave the exact figure of 91.55 m. Regarding the height of the tower, there is less data, but we do not doubt the figure inscribed on the tablet, which shows that the height was equal to the length of one of the sides of the base. The tower consisted of several floors, seven overlapping parallelepipeds. The tower as a whole was built of unburnt brick, and the facing was a burnt brick. The location of the stairs and access ramps was controversial among specialists. The monument was impressive in its dimensions. The amount of work required to build the tower was enormous. An inscription specified that all the people from many countries worked there. King Nabopolassar, who reigned between 625 and 605 BC, was the one who decided to raise the tower, because this was the will of the gods, interpreted by the oracle, who gave him all the necessary instructions. The works were continued and completed during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. This imposing monument had a rather short existence, at most a century and a half, because Xerxes ruined it. After the defeat of Darius 331 BC, Alexander the Great, appreciating the economic and strategic possibilities that Babylon had, impressed by the beauty of its monuments, planned to rebuild it, giving back to the city's patron god, Marduk, a temple worthy of his greatness. First, the ruins had to be removed, a huge job requiring, according to Strabo, 600,000 workdays. The death of the great Macedonian king put an end to the restoration attempts because no one dared to undertake the execution of a work of such astonishing proportions.